isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set. The record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think...
This isn't just about Caitlin, but since you brought her up, let's talk about it. If you're going to break a record legitimately, it has to be done within the same time frame as the original. Sheryl Swoopes has been targeting Caitlin Clark, and honestly, it's getting tiresome. Clark will be recognized in the record books as the all-time champion, regardless of the specific number. I don't think it should be that way. Swoopes has made some harsh comments about Clark, and now people are uncovering some unsavory details about Swoopes herself. There was a significant scandal with her team back in 2008. Sheryl Swoopes, a once revered university basketball coach, is under investigation for allegedly mistreating her players. A majority of her team minus 10 out of 12 players accuse her of being a terrible coach. It's pretty wild, and now people are wondering if Swoopes is projecting her own issues onto Clark. When you're upset, you often take it out on others. One of Swoopes' former players spoke out this morning, explaining why she wanted to transfer. ABC's Lindsay Davis reported on this. Good morning, Lindsay. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to sign with the WNBA, but her recent behavior is casting a shadow on her legacy. She's even argued that Angel Reese should win Rookie of the Year over Caitlin Clark. Her reasoning that Clark got drafted to a better team is questionable since the Indiana Fever have been struggling. This morning, Swoopes is not just under fire but under investigation after reports that most of her roster decided to leave. Watching old footage of Swoopes makes you wonder if there's more to this story, like if race plays a role in how she's treating Clark. The investigation into Swoopes' alleged mistreatment of players is a serious matter. Given everything happening, we have to ask, is she just another former WNBA player harboring resentment toward Clark because she's white? One former player described the environment Swoopes created as one of belittlement, humiliation, and extreme discomfort. Swoopes is causing quite a stir with her comments about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. She believes the Indiana Fever could make the playoffs without Clark, but doubts the Chicago Sky could do the same without Reese. Fans have been unhappy with the head coach since 2013. Last year, 5 players reportedly transferred to different programs, and this year, 10 out of the team's 12 players aren't planning on returning. They're calling Swoopes a hater and blasting her on social media. There seems to be more to this story than just a disagreement about Rookie of the Year. Swoopes is making inaccurate claims about Caitlin Clark's college stats, saying Clark took 40 shots a game and only averaged 19 points, which is completely false. Gilbert Arenas should know better than to let her say that without correcting her. It feels like she's trying to make Clark look bad on purpose. Clark definitely wasn't taking 40 shots a game in college. That's just absurd. While her team should get her the ball more, the situation with Swoopes is becoming increasingly strange. There's an old video raising serious questions. Who is the woman in the video? And what does she have to do with anything? This is getting really odd. Sheryl Swoopes is known for her strong activist views typical of the WNBA's activist stance. I recently saw a video featuring a young woman who bore a striking resemblance to Caitlin Clark. It was peculiar. Swoopes has a history of making negative comments about Clark, which is troubling for a former Loyola basketball player. One player, Kate, said Swoopes caused the team to live in fear, routinely threatening to revoke scholarships or cut players from the team. This behavior feels like gatekeeping, and I'm not sure what's driving it. Sheryl mentioned 2008, but the video also referenced 2013 and 2016, raising questions about whether the issue with Caitlin Clark is really about her disabilities or if there's something deeper making it difficult for her to play. It stopped being about working hard and having fun and became about surviving. Wilson believes Caitlin Clark's popularity is a black and white issue, something Sheryl Swoopes alluded to when she said the NBA was more popular back then due to fewer shows and higher overall ratings. Caitlin Clark recently became the all-time scoring leader in women's college basketball. When asked to rank her among all-time college players, it's tough because winning a championship is crucial to be part of that conversation. It took me 3 years to win mine, so it's not easy. Congratulations to her, though. My teammate KP noted how impressive that feat is, and it's not something to take for granted. Clark scored a lot of points, which is remarkable. But to truly be considered among the greats, she needs to win a championship. Clark is always going to be a great player for Iowa and for the game as a whole. Winning is essential in college basketball, so once she wins a championship, the conversation can be more fitting. I mentioned on Complex once that she's going to be significant for whichever franchise drafts her. I hope that franchise builds around her so she can continue to grow. I also hope the same fans supporting her now will continue to support her into the WNBA, because that's where real growth happens. Talking is easy, but she's going to be great, and her success will depend on the support and development she gets from her future team and fans. Anyone can talk the talk, but the real question is, are you still there as a true fan in the long run? I'm confident that Caitlin Clark will be successful. The WNBA will enjoy having her and will enjoy competing with and against her. Her transition to the professional level will be huge, just like it was for all of us. It's going to be an exciting time for her and all the rookies making that jump. So, why all the hate on Caitlin Clark? It's not fair to make false comments about her on TV. When you compare the supporters of Angel Reese to those who have actually watched Caitlin Clark play, it reveals a lot about the debate. Sheryl Swoopes and Dawn Staley have their viewpoints, and you might see a pattern there. LeBron, you're 100% right about the pettiness surrounding these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. We can be the most insecure group in the world. Cheryl Reeve, head coach for both the Minnesota Lynx and Team USA, recently shut down reporters asking about Caitlin Clark. She stated that it was premature to discuss any player or anything since the announcement hadn't been made by USA Basketball. This came right after Clark, a fiery rookie with the Indiana Fever, led her team to a surprising win against Reeve's Lynx. Fans are buzzing, trying to figure out why Reeve wouldn't answer questions about Clark, who has been outstanding all season. Indiana isn't known for their defense, so this win was another feather in her cap. The John R. Wooden Women's Player of the Year Award, presented by the Los Angeles Athletic Club, went to Iowa's Caitlin Clark for her record-breaking season. She broke the all-time Division I scoring record, set a new three-point record, and came within one win of leading Iowa to their first championship. It's been an incredible journey for her, and we're all excited to see what she accomplishes next. Clark had a fire in her eyes. Every time she touched the ball, it sent a jolt through the crowd. By the final period, it was like someone flicked a switch. Clark was dialed in, draining key shots, finding open teammates, doing everything a baller of her caliber should. Her stat sheet was lit: points, assists, rebounds, the whole package. No wonder she's considered one of the top players in the world right now. This performance sends a pretty clear message to Cheryl Reeve. Remember me, the one you snubbed for Team USA? Well, consider this payback, televised for everyone to see.